Hey guys, J.Yumeko here, and I just wanted to let you guys know before we get into this video that we actually do have a new channel icon, which is really awesome. I really loved it. I had it commissioned by Kars Vuma on Instagram, so if you guys want to check out their art and I don't know, maybe even commission something for yourself, then go ahead and do that. But yeah, I'm really liking it, and it gives gives me some nice originality to the channel. Because again, a little while ago we changed the banner, and now we just got the icon changed. So I just wanted to throw that in real quick. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hello everybody, J.Yumeko here, and welcome back to the letter. Now last time we left off, I think we're just finishing up our kind of look around the house, making sure that everything was kind of finalized in terms of its our planning for it and its stability, I suppose. And did anything significant happen? I think we eavesdropped on a conversation between Hannah and Luke, which involved their little dispute about whether they wanted to have a child or not, or something along such lines. So right now we're kind of at a crossroads about whether we want Luke and Hannah to kind of try and work out, or whether we want McCullough and Hannah to work out, which it really could go either way. I don't know if I've already screwed up one path, the other path, or both paths, but yeah, we're just gonna have to see. So let's continue. Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Oh yeah, the last scene of the last episode, we were talking to Ash, so now Ash is involved. Already I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. Oh, Marianne, how long have you been standing there, dearie? Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. I forget if I gave her accent. Unless you ask, that is. Not that I can get much sleep to begin with. October 28th. Friday. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Because honestly, I've been feeling like this. You've certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too. Though moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely. Well, I can't take all the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom. Oh no, we'll proceed with that. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and vineyard in the stables. He may as well let me have this one thing. We're only about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on a client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it, in between my exasperation at Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that, burying my feelings as deep as they've buried her body, 6 feet under. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I've wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than the ghosts of the past. But don't you have a party? Yes, but Luke's just being a sweet, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems, and he's just trying to cheer him up. It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous social elites way past their honeymoon phase, and I've been somehow roped into being a relationship counselor. They've been married a long time, and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think? If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it? Suppose it is. What would you tell me? Then I tell you that it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe you should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives. Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source for relationship advice is beyond me. Still, I talk and answer to the best of my abilities. Without realizing it, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I had thought were long gone. I'd like to believe my words will be of some help to Miss Rain. If I'm honest, though, there's some help to me. Like some weight has been taken off my shoulders. Lorraine. And I really should handle what's left of the work. You wouldn't be attending the party. You really must, Marianne. The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe... I'll try and stay in chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy. You must stay a while. I'd love you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never have even heard of you. Maybe it's about time I changed that. We'll see. So, if I can be excused. Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even if they're not supposed to be here until an hour later. Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead, I shouldn't callously forget about them too. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see someone so obsessed with her craft that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlor, people hurry about here and there in preparation for the Wrights' grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their appointed roles and not daring to slack off while they work for what's probably the most powerful couple in Luxburn. I make it into the kitchen with ease, the wine cellar being my final destination. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet that's worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCullough, the professional interior designer, when I chose to lie about myself being too busy for a party. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy. But it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my self-imagined grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally? Schnell! Hurry up, you Schnells! We're on a deadline and you're wasting my time. The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others. People who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises an eyebrow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trap door. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then, he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with their surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness beyond. What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave. I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes? Yes, you have been doing that a lot, looking around, snooping about. Now's not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something. The look he gives me as he says this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, he'd probably be the more true neutral warlock guarding the treasure room. The difficult opponent to beat with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in dexterity. Oops. Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place. Man, I'm stumbling over my words right now. I'm really sorry. I do not know what's up. So, just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough. Go outside. Enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulations as you will no doubt shower you this when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this old stinky kitchen by now. You don't want to cause trouble. Both of Bratwurst and Hannah wants this to be perfection. It would be disservice and disrespect to toe out of line and risk it... What? It would be a disservice and disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I would be blamed for any failure that happens tonight. His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe this is a sign that I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out. But, please, it's really important. 15 minutes. 9, 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself. The Bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious vine without his permission. Thank you. This seriously means a lot. He steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend. The space feels smaller, with a lot more bottles lining the walls compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. The mirror that had been moved from the study is my goal. I did not return to it after my initial discovery, but the thought of Lorraine, how much I want to see her again, even if it's just one more time, keeps coming back to mind. As I walk through the cellar, I have to stop when I feel something crunch beneath my feet. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are now nothing but glass under my heels. Perhaps dropped by one of the many chefs and bartenders the butler had escorted through here before. It had made a downright mess, with red slick pooling from the remnants of a good drink. With how dark this place is, a person with a dark enough imagination can easily mistake it for blood. I can't help but think it is, despite the easy, logical explanation that had come to my mind, only because of what I'm about to do. It's merely a momentary distraction as I continue to the end of the cellar where the mirror stands. Propped up on the far wall, it gleams innocently while pretending to be a simple and ordinary mirror. How morbidly to think this thing can show a person their deepest, most desperate desires, and then twist it to an image so dark. That's what I had seen that day. Though I had heard Lorraine many times, I had only seen her within its frame. I wonder if people have discovered it before. How many were wasted away in front of it, enamored, and how many were frightened away by what they saw. Yet, as I stand before it now, nothing. I can barely see my own reflection in its darkness. How does this even work? The mirror on the wall? Something? Anything? Nothing. Touching its surface doesn't make it magically activate or anything like that. There's no sudden surge of power, and I'm not suddenly granted sight. It stays what it is. A mirror. Was Lorraine's appearance in the mirror all some sort of fever dream? Am I really that burdened with guilt and despair that my mind would eat itself in my stress and have me hallucinate such things? Either way, just going here on some crazed obsession for a girl long gone must warrant me a trip to the doctor. Already I feel ill. After a few more minutes in hopes that something would change, I turn around to leave. I can just go back upstairs like nothing ever happened. Perhaps drop by the party for some hours d'oeuvre. D'oeuvre? Then go home and collect myself. Besides, Miss Wright is expecting me, and I'm... Going to leave me again then, are you? I stop in my tracks, but I don't turn back. As much as it pains me, I don't look back. If I'm just hearing her again, desperately delusional, and I look back to see nothing, I don't want to give myself false hope. But when I feel fingers around my wrist pull at me, I look back in shock. My first thought is, how in God's name is this possible? And then the second is, Lorraine. Her hands are cold. Are you that mad at me that you're just going to ignore me, Marianne? I think she's British. I don't know. I don't know what to say, and I can only stare at her in wonder. She stands there, in the mirror, with only her arm extended outward for my sake. I look at the hand still holding my wrist, and when she sees me looking at it, she moves it so that our hands are intertwined, fingers weave together. Seeing her there, and feeling her touch meant I'm not crazy, though however impossible and unexplainable this is all to me right now. It just takes my breath away. Pulling her out from there is tempting. I can imagine doing so with ease. We can be together again. Lorraine and Marianne, like nothing ever happened. But that would all be a great lie, wouldn't it? What? Cat got your tongue? Don't just look at me like that. Say something. Even if this were some magical portal that could bring back the dead, that doesn't erase anything. Just looking at her, still a young teenager while I'm already a grown-up adult woman, it serves no other reason than to break the illusion that binds me. I've seen her twice now, always behind the mirror. If this is real, If this isn't some delusion, then why can she only exist behind the glass? You have no idea how happy I am to see you. It's been so long. You don't look happy. I really am happy. But at the same time, I can't help but think about what happened to you. And what does that mean? What are you saying? She gives me this peculiar look, and before my eyes, she moves to step out of the mirror. In turn, I wrench my hand from her and take a step back, almost as if I'm afraid. I don't know how this is possible, but whatever this is, it can't be real. You can't be real. I'm right here, aren't I? What other proof do you need? No, I see you. I hear you, I feel you. But even with all that, you can't be real. You just can't. I saw your body. I helped bury you. You're dead. A deep hurt crosses her face, and it just breaks my heart into two, seeing her wear that expression. Burying me wasn't the only thing you did. Don't you dare lie. But I'm going to be the bigger woman, aren't I? Let bygones be bygones. I'll forgive you, as long as you stay with me, Marianne. That's why I came down here, right? To find me? That was the plan. I came down here looking for her, for closure. But this isn't. This isn't just closure. This is something else entirely. I didn't think I would be forced to make such a choice. Do I leave? Or do I stay? Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay. Oh my god. Okay. I need to move on, or I want to stay. Jeez Louise. I don't know. I do not know. Okay. So, I think we're gonna move on. Because here's the thing, right? From what we saw last time, this clearly isn't some kind of like, oh yeah, we're gonna stay with her and we're all gonna be happy and yada yada. That's not how this plays out. I think we need to just turn around and walk away. What happened is happened. She's gone. She's dead. We're not gonna make a deal with the devil here. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on. Closure. That's all I came here for. Whatever this is, it might as well just be all a devil's trick. And I might as well make some use of it, right? I say nothing at first, for fear or angry in whatever phantom this is. I take Lorraine's hand and bring it to my lips, pressing a kiss to her knuckles. She takes it as some sort of invitation to pull me along, to step back into the mirror until only her arm is extended again. I should have been more honest back then, both to you and myself. I know it's too late. I'm sorry. But the thought of being with a dead girl did not agree with me. Not one bit. I can't stay with you. So what? You're going to leave me for some old trophy wife? That's it, isn't it? You're going to leave poor Amy Lorraine and go for that after the next rich, pretty blonde that you see. This is a mistake. All these years, guilt has been my driving force. I felt so guilty for what I did, what I didn't do. She thinks she can guilt me into being compliant, but she realizes otherwise and I pull my hand from her. And, going by the look of anger on her face, an anger that runs cold, she did not like the fact that I'm not some puppet on a string. Had she chosen her words carefully, I would have accepted whatever punishment Lorraine chose to give me. Guilt had ran in my life, and it might have very well ended it, because I deserved it. But what I did to me. The blood in my hands is mine, not yours. Whoever or whatever this shadow is, my gut tells me that it's not Lorraine. Yet, I keep talking as if she is. I broke your heart, not your neck. Don't you dare deny it! It was your fault! Because I loved you more than I dared to admit? Yes, that was my fault, but I never meant to hurt you like that. Despite my words, no matter how sincere they are, she appears angry, Enraged, in fact. It's been years since I last saw that face, and even now, the memory of it is still etched deeply in my mind. The hurt, the tears, and the hate spilling from her eyes that day, the moment I rejected her. Rejected myself for who I am. And she definitely will hate what I'm about to do next. To my left, the wine rack, and from there I take a bottle and pray to all the saints I can remember, for all my sins, for every hurtful word I've uttered, for what I've driven her to do that day, what I forced her into. What are you doing? I do it without thinking twice. Quickly, before I can hesitate, I grab a bottle and send it straight towards the mirror. Jesus! Shards of the bottle and mirror are both sent flying everywhere as Lorraine's screams echo in the cellar. Bitter. Searing. Like every wound and accusation she hurled at me. They've never left me. I doubt they ever will. But with this, I can move away from them. From her. Live my life as I should. Free from the burden. Her burden. Because the Lorraine I know, the real one, the person I loved, will never want me carrying this to my death. As the screaming dies down, I can't help but mutter weakly. It's done. It's done. Oh, Lorraine. Forgive me, Lorraine. I take some time to compose myself, breathing in and out, stamping down on the tremors still racking my hands, straightening out my jacket, and fixing my hair. All a weak attempt at returning myself to someone resembling my normal self. This would probably be easy to do with a mirror, but I likely won't be able to stand looking at one for a long time. Well now, I should probably get back up there. Party to attend, rich social elites to do business with, and food to eat. Miss Wright would be happy if I make some time for it anyway. Yet one last time did the shattered glass beneath my feet. I'm sorry, Lorraine. May you see God's light on the path. Turning around to leave, and for good this time, the uneasy smile on my face falls as I see Lorraine, whole and well. Come on, Mac. You really didn't think it would be that easy, did you? You get bonus points for trying. But you should know an 8 in charisma is not enough to turn undead. She advances toward me, backs me against the wall. I can't even reach for another wine bottle without putting myself within her reach. Despite my earlier bravado, I didn't think she'd still be able to exist at all without the mirror. Can you blame me, though? It's not like I'm an expert on the supernatural. That's not... You shouldn't be... What? Out of the mirror? Did you think just moving on will erase what you did to me? You're nothing but a murderer, Marianne. A murderer. Stay back! You're not real! Leave me alone! Stop! I'm trying to move on with my life, so why won't you let me? Please, just get out of my head and leave me be. I try to find an exit when there's a click. The next thing I know, I'm falling back into darkness. I fall on my back and a door slams shut behind me. In a daze, I look around warily and find myself in another room entirely. On the other side of the wall, some sort of secret passage perhaps, an underground tunnel that has me wary and frightened. It also proves that the oddities in the mansion's floor plans are a lot more than just little discrepancies. I expect Lorraine to jump out at me from the darkness at any time. A breeze blowing through the tunnel has me relieved, though, at the idea that there's still a way to escape, should that happen. That is way better than being trapped underground with only God knows what that was. A funny thought comes to mind as I start walking to where the exit might be. I think about how Miss Wright would be so disappointed if I didn't show up to the party. I imagine how furious Mr. Wright would be for breaking one of his wine bottles. Even Johannes' reaction comes to mind, though I don't really know with that guy. One thing for sure is that I would be calling Cam and Haruna for a drink as soon as I get out of here. Oh shit. That noise has me wary. Oh god, here we go. A ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body is peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place. How long has this been here? Ugh, that smell. You're a nasty one, aren't you? I flinch as the thing twitches, and as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. I try to keep on running, no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going, even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore, because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloody mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinded against each other as she moves closer and closer to me. How long are these damn tunnels? There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me. A strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then, suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still, I'm struggling, up until I'm thrown to the side like some ragdoll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive. But please, don't hurt me. My body hurts, and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next. What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me? There's only dread, seeing how she's followed me even here. She looms over me, backs me further in the cell that I was thrown in. Please, it's so cold. I don't want to be alone, Marianne. Why didn't you stay with me? Why would you leave me? Why? What are you? Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before, and with that same gruesome grin, it takes a step towards the cell. Towards me. I barely scramble to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut, and it just stands there, staring. Shouts for help ring out in the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens in being fooled by the image of Lorraine, the thought of being trapped down here. So then, where? Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! How are you getting all this on camera, Carl? Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't even been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It is written in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea. Oh man, this is genius. What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That Suarez kid sure would panic. Guys? Guys? What? Spit it out. Behind you! Jesus. There in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes flickering to life, and the video is played back on the screen. It was hard to even consider paying any attention to it when my life's on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of "help me" filled the cell, I just had to watch. And what I had seen. Students, judging by their St. Greta uniforms, they were holding that letter. And that thing, the woman, she... Oh shit. Oh shit, wait! Whoa, okay, hold on, baby, hold your horses here. Can we just take a minute? Okay, we're back to Rebecca. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, hold up. Please just hold on a second. Let me just save, okay? Alright. Let me just say, oh my god. Okay, first off, we've now seen that ghost can impersonate people. Very accurately, might I say. Second off, we have found, we've just kind of brushed past it, but we found cellars. We found secret cellars underneath the mansion. And if you guys recall, there is a scene where we see who I believe is the ghost being tortured in that cellar. And, okay, let me see if I can find it. Let's go back to the main menu we have saved. So let me go to the gallery. CG's Chapter 4. Memory fragments? No, okay. So here we go. This is one of the memory fragments. And from what we can see here, I want you to focus on, first off, her, right? So this is obviously the ghost. I think it's pretty much confirmed, like, this is the ghost. And in the background, here we have this girl here. Now, we don't know their relationship. They might be sisters. It might be a maid. I don't know. But this is the girl that ghost was just flickering into. Can we find it, though, is the thing. I don't know if we can find it. It's not showing. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's right here. See, look, the ghost is flickering into that girl. So I think that this pretty much confirms that in that memory fragment, that girl lying on the bed is the ghost, and she was likely tortured to death by that Princess Curls girl. We don't know why. We don't exactly know who they are, what the relationship is, but that seems to be the case. And it is curious why the ghost is even haunting people to begin with. Maybe it's just straight up vengeance, but it might be something more specific, potentially. We do not know. But oh my god, okay. That was a good ending. It revealed a lot. Oh man. Alright. So far, Rebecca seems to be the only one to have encountered the ghost and actually gotten away from it. Zach got attacked. We don't know exactly what the ending result of Zach is. What we do know is that he seemingly got his eyes gouged out in the prison cell. Hannah has gotten just full on fucking possessed. And now we've seen that Marianne, we don't know her fate, but she is trapped in the cellar in the basement. The secret cellars in the basement. But what's interesting is this. When did we... At some point we... Because I forget when we played as Hannah and had the housewarming party. I know that we ran into Rebecca, but I forget if we also ran into Marianne there. It's possible that we didn't, but yeah, I guess we're playing as Rebecca now, huh? Oh man, I don't know if I want to just leave you guys off there and kind of leave you at a cliffhanger and not... Let's continue. Let's go a little bit into Rebecca. Alright, let's go. This is how it begins, or so they say. With a gentle wind drifting through wide open windows, muffled laughters and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, and the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Soon there will be a call, a crossing of thresholds into the unknown. Maybe we're off to some grand adventure, or diving into another gripping mystery. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come to sweep me off my feet, if I'm lucky. That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it. Well, this is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. The mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny of fiery hue. They're all as real as they can get. As much as I want to write a little tale out of all this, I'm far from someone who can. Fleeting fancies, that's what these are, merely passing their thoughts to occupy an idle mind, while waiting for another busy workday to end. Then again, maybe in another life I am one. Who knows? But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be? Well, I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I? Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? As if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into a neat circle against the papers I'm grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that has opened, students begin piling out into the hallways soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as I usually prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either, since Isabella moved in next door. And if they're fussing over a minor cold last week tells me anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony, so long as she lives nearby. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift over to the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle escapes me as I reach for it. A little ball of energy and enthusiasm, that big baby. Mother Hen, she calls me, and then says and does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I am to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute and act like a responsible dope the next. But there's a dissonance there, both in her actions and words. Although she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose her cheer, one way or the other, I know those troubles have weighed down on her recently. Her face is it all, that big numpty. If she thinks I won't notice, she's got another thing coming for her. That's how she's always been. I do understand that part loud and clear. It's just that I'd really rather not pass another burden on to her, or become one myself. Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually go away from, once you've all started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow that thought makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my back, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms in my lips when the screen lights up, and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds, once I do accept the call, is wholly unfamiliar. Hello? Ah, goodness. Finally it connects. Hello, is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales? Yes, yes, speaking. Who is this? Oh, sorry. Oh, it's Rose. Rose Cooper. Rose Cooper, Brer Realty Corporation. Brer Realty? My frown deepens as I straighten up my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't sit quite well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tensions that have suddenly descended either. Miss Cooper? Yes, things are a bit busy on my end, I apologise. I'm not certain if Isabella's mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and... The Ermengarde Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem? This is about Isabella, actually. She wastes no time in relaying everything. The details she provided me are, admittedly, a bit vague, but enough for me to get a gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though still worrying. Especially with words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. Ah! Oh my god! Okay, I did not mean to tab out. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stomp down on the urge to demand answers, right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances that she just had a bunch of excuses so she won't get sent home? High. Very high. Oh, she's so going to hear it this time. You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it would be best if you know about this. How is she? Is she okay? I had to take a break for now, but honestly I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxburn. I really don't want her to go off on her own. I do it myself, but, well, you know how it is today. Big day, people everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy. Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few... 30, 40 minutes tops? Is that alright? More than fine, Miss Gales. Thank you. It was supposed to be here until... excuse me, one moment, please. Yes, ma'am? The faint hum of conversation echoes from her end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you'd expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient location in Luxburn's outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour's drive away from the compass of a city? But from what I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. If I didn't understand why she was being so adamant refusing my offer to help before, I think I do now. To some degree. We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that, I really need to get this going. Lord knows how I'll solve the situation from here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients, they can be difficult when they want to be. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? It shouldn't be too hard to miss. No problem. Thank you for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be. No, believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for the time being until you get here. That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it. The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same thing could be said of the news she brought. I allow a brief moment to pass, to ease whatever tension has latched itself firmly to my nerves. But no matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of it grimmer than the other, grows with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, screams, off. Wrong. This isn't the riveting tale I'd hoped to step into today. Alright, we are going to end it there, for sure this time. We're just going to overwrite that save, and we're going to go back to the main menu. Alrighty, guys. So, some big stuff has happened. Alright. So, again, so far, every single character we've gone through, besides Isabella, has gotten presumably permanently either trapped or potentially killed by this ghoul. So yeah, this is going to be kind of interesting how this goes. I don't know whether... Man, I don't know if how this is going to play out in the end. My biggest question is, are we going to make another rotation through all these characters? Or are we going to go back to Isabella, and are all of the characters' paths going to kind of connect? That is my question, and that is kind of what I'm wondering here. Because it's very possible that we just get to the end of the story, and it's kind of like, oh, you either made the right decisions and got them killed, or you made the right ones and didn't get them killed. Which, I don't know if that's the case or not. So we're just going to have to find out. But we are moving on to Rebecca now, and it seems like this is, again, all kind of going back to the beginning of the story. So this is obviously after Isabella's had her little panic attack, and she's presumably going to either show us the letter. I think she shows all of us the letter. But the interesting thing is that Rebecca was one of the ones that adamantly refused to believe in the letter, or even the notion that there was a ghost haunting Isabella. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that kind of plays into this, and to see what Rebecca's actual thought process was in responding to Isabella's claims. But that is going to be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video, and let me know in the comment section below what you would like to see me play next. If you enjoyed this video or any other videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when a new one of these videos comes out. Anyways, that's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one.